Hi, this is Mike Keith, voice of the Tennessee Titans, and you're listening to the One Lane Road podcast with Lucas and DK. Go Titans.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the show today.
Episode number 2, and we promised
And one day.
Episode 2. So congratulations, you're getting a bonus show today.
Bonus show. We get slacked around, so you got another one.
So this is the original show. So still, please go listen to the episode before this. And I don't know what number these are, but
This will be number 65 whenever we put this
we're trucking right up there, man.
Yeah.
So
About to be on the phone, Mr. Monday Night himself, Keith Bulluck.
Keith will be his second appearance, and for everybody that we said it on the last one when we thought Keith might have been on with us. So say it once again for any of you new listeners that are checking in, listening just for Keith. We appreciate you. You can find us. You can find all these past episodes on iTunes, Stitcher, whatever phone device that you have. We're like I said, we're 66 episodes deep. Some of the episodes in the archive, and including an episode in the past with Keith. Bernard Pollard, former Titan and former Ravens, been out 2 or 3 times. Mike Keith, Jim White, Amber Harding, plenty of
Kevin Dyson.
Man, that was the first big get we got.
Yeah.
Way back. We were green. I can't even go back and listen to that. We were so green and inexperienced on this thing.
But here we are, number 65, Keith Bulluck. Let's get him on the phone, man.
All right.
Yo,
what's going on, Keith?
ain't nothing, man. What's the word?
Hey, man, welcome back to the One Lane Road podcast, man. My partner, Lucas.
Hey, man, what's going on?
Lucas, what's up, brother?
How you doing, man?
All right, can y'all hear me good?
Oh, yeah, we got
do
you.
I need to get on another line?
No, we got you loud and clear, man. You sound great.
Cool.
Hey, man, we've tried this a couple times, and you got to tell me how Kendrick Lamar was the other night down in Nashville.
Kendrick was cool, man. You know what? I think he was surprised about the love that he got. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think Kendrick was surprised about the love that he got in Nashville because, a lot of his songs, he just let it ride. And, like, the fans just knew, like, his lyrics. And then, like, I kind of looked around. And I was like, man, like, this shit is packed in here. Kendrick did his thing.
That Nashville music scene's big for everybody right now, man. That's just a great market for everything going on right now down there.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, like, shit, you think Nashville is about country music and everything, but I think it's almost dope that Nashville is becoming like a melting pot for pretty much everything, man. Like, I got homeboys that do country music. I got homeboys that do alternative music. And I have all homeboys that rap here in the city, and it just works, like, for them. Like,
Yeah.
They're not, like, super popular, but they're trying to do their thing, and that's all you can do is just support those type of people.
And new country music's really getting to be a melting pot of music. I mean, there's all kinds of different genres that's falling into country music now, or making its way into country now.
Yeah, for sure.
What he means by that, there ain't shit that's country music anymore. It's all pop and everything else. I seen this week, actually. We've had Amber Harding on the show. Amber used to work for the Titans there, and her boyfriend, Chris Schrader, he plays music downtown a lot and doing some cool things. But he posted a thing on Facebook this week that Broadway rapper, they've asked Broadway rapper and a lot of those other guys to move off the sidewalk. You heard anything about that?
Nah, I don't know. I don't necessarily know anything about that, but, like, I just know, like, being in the city, getting here in the year 2000, and I would say about 2006 to me is when things, like, really started taking off. And then, obviously I, like, left to play for the Giants for a year and then just stayed up back home where I'm from, and then coming back and forth between Nashville and New York just to see how the city's growing. And I love how people who may have just had an idea, and, like, express their idea across the city. And, like, Nashville's, like, one of those spots, like Denver and Cali and Seattle, like, it's a spot to be. It's about to be a spot to be for sure.
Yeah. I know it's grown so much. There was a thing I saw on Twitter not too long ago that they had, like, the skyline of Nashville in 2011 as opposed to 2017. It's crazy how much how much it's grown. And but with that comes like all the hotels are crazy. I mean, I remember when I used to come to the games, we'd stay over at the. I mean, it never was a nice hotel, but we stay at the Days Inn. I think it's a Clarion now, over by the stadium.
Yeah.
We'd all get hammered at the game, and we'd stay over for like $110. Now, man, you try to get that thing on the weekend, it's like $350 for that one. So it's.
I mean, and that just shows how much the city is growing. Cause shit, like really, like, I'll buy that, and I'll let y'all get it for like $110 during football season. But yeah, man, like it's like it's a tribute to Nashville, Tennessee. I remember when I got here in 2000, I got drafted. I was the first round draft pick, and like my whole thing was to be like drafted in the first round. And I got drafted. I'm like, man, this ain't what I thought it was supposed to be like to be a first round draft pick in Nashville in 2000. Although, like, there was still things here, but shoot, man, I'm from New York, man. Like, what's up?
Yeah, but something about Nashville, the way that it's continued to grow, all you guys that have played, all the guys that made their name here in Nashville, you look at all the guys from Blaine and Dyson and, I mean, so many of these guys, Mason, that are all living in Nashville now. That's got to say something about it right there, the way it's continued to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't, like, look, man, I got here when I was 21, 22 years old. I didn't really know what was going on. I just knew this wasn't my ideal. Like, I played in the Music City Bowl. Like, the first Music City Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so, still have the record for the most tackles in the Music City Bowl. But at the end of the day, I came here at like 20 years old. I was about my business because I wanted to play football, be successful, all the above. But I thought it was pretty cool that I was able to come to Nashville and be downtown Nashville, and just see how the city has grown. Like, it's pretty amazing.
Well, kind of talk about your career. I think last time you were on, we kind of did, we talked about it quite a bit. But I mean, just talk about how frustrating it was for you that first couple of years to sit, knowing you were a first round pick, and you want to be out there busting somebody's ass and having to sit on the sideline for a couple of years. Did that make you a better player overall and make you mature more?
Yeah, it definitely made me a better player, man. It definitely made me mature more. The fact that I had to sit and watch and keep learning, and then like it just gets to a point, man. Like, it's like, they want to bring you up as a young guy, but it's like, this, you know what they're trying to teach you and everything, and you just want to get out there and implement it and show what you can do. You just want to be a part of it, man. Like, you got, let's talk old school. You talk Kenny Holmes, Josh Huggins, Blaine Bishop, Marcus Robinson. I just wanted to be a part of that, and I didn't really get a chance to really, like, eat with those guys, but I was always prepared for my time, so it was one of those things that once I got my opportunity, I'm not going to let it, fall to the wayside.
You had a bunch of damn good veterans there to kind of teach you. I mean, that's very fortunate when you had all those guys that you could learn underneath.
Yeah, and I kind of was blessed for that because I came to the Titans in 2000, and that team was a team that, Kevin Dyson, they missed tying the Super Bowl by a yard and a half. And then when I got here, that team was primed and ready. It was a professional football team. And when, Blaine and Mac and Eddie and all those big time guys left, and it was just me. It was just totally different.
You kind of took over that lead because after they all left, you brought in. You had Pac-Man and Vince and Lindell and all those guys. Were you kind of the leader on that team after that?
I had no choice, man. Actually, that was like a fun time, man. Pac-Man was out of control. Lindell, Vince, all those dudes was out of control, but it's not their fault, man. They're 21, 22-year-old dudes that need kind of some guidance, and they came into a franchise where, you know, we had the big names. We had the Eddie Jordan. We had the Frank Wycheck. We had Steve McNair. But it was in the past, and it was up to these guys, like you mentioned, like the Lindell, the Vince, the Pac-Man, to come and like bring these to bring it back. But you know, I just think a lot was placed on these young men at such an early age.
You know, like 10 or 11 years later now, we look back at him, and a lot of people label him a bust. But, man, I'm going to tell you, I think Vince Young done a lot of special things. And he was, that first year especially, he was very special, and he was hard to stop. And he was exciting. He brought excitement to the team. And, you know, I feel like if you think you ain't got the coach's full support, that's going to get in anybody's head, no matter what profession you got.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, you know, you can call Vince Young a bust. You can call him whatever. You can call him what you want to call him, whoever, not just you. Just like, you know what I mean? But
I don't even think he was a bust.
When he got the opportunity, he got the opportunity to perform. And, you know, one of the things that I will say is, like, I feel like you will play better if you're supported. And
right, exactly.
One thing I do know is that Vince Young was Bud Adams' draft pick. You know, everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Jeff didn't want to draft DY, and like that don't mean Jeff didn't like DY or whatever it was, but he had another ideal for what he wanted his team to be. And at the end of the day, Vince got here, he won games, and he did his thing. But what I will say is, like, with more support, the further you get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, I'm not always fully versed on Jeff and Vince's relationship, but obviously, you know, everyone knows it wasn't 100% solid. But I just feel like, look, we're one of those teams that I went 4-12 and 5-11, and then we got Vince Young, and then we won some games. So, you know, I played here for 10 years, and I went to the playoffs 6 of 10 years. So I can't really say nothing bad about nobody that was in charge.
No, I think that was a hell of a team in 2008 and 2007 with Vince. I mean, yeah, he went through his things. I mean, look, the guy had never lost. He'd always been the star wherever he went. And like you said, he didn't feel like he had the coach's support. And you know, a lot of people point to other quarterbacks in that class. You know, they said that, you know, Jeff wanted Matt Liner. What'd he do? You know, and then people point to Cutler. I'm like the least. You're not. You know, what's Cutler done? You know.
I mean, look, man, I like Cut just because he's from here. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've seen him, I got to know him and everything. And it's one of those things. But you're right. Like, what has any of these quarterbacks in that class done? And, you know, I just feel like when it comes to Vince Young and Jeff Fisher, they have their own personal issue, and that's something that they need to work out.
Does a 2008 playoff sting the worst for you in your time in Titans? I think that's what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, my whole thing with that is, man, like, you know, like I was playing with some guys, like, so, like when we went to the playoffs in 2003, we started off 1-4, and then we went to the playoffs. So I can say I played my ass off. We played our ass off, but I didn't really know what it's about. So then when we get there in 2008, I'm playing with a whole totally different crew of dudes. Like,
yeah.
You know, we played hard and everything, but I don't even really know if they really realized what it was all about. Like, I remember telling them, like, we're here now. We got to take advantage of it now, because if we don't, we might not get the opportunity again. And Titans haven't been back in the playoffs since then. Like, I will never forget that. I don't know, man. It's a tough road. It's definitely a tough road. Like, I think I take my hat off to, like, the New England teams that really build, like, a true franchise and can go back to back to back to back to back playoff.
It's unbelievable.
Appearances. Yeah, it takes a matter of focus, and that 2008 that 2018, that 2007. We were building that, but it just never followed through.
I was at the game where y'all clinched the AFC championship against Pittsburgh, and I just thought, and I think everybody thought that was, the road was going to lead through Tennessee when you clinched the AFC and you really smacked Pittsburgh in the mouth. Of course, that was the same game with you stomped on the towel and sent a message there. It just the Baltimore. Baltimore was one of those teams that I just couldn't stand. Every time we've had Bernard Pollard on the show, I let him know how much I hated him when he was with the Ravens. Of course, that was a different Ravens team, but I just hate the Ravens, man. I try to block out the McNair played there. I try to block out Mason played there. Oh, but
Bernard Pollard quit on y'all. Nah, like what I'm saying is like Bernard Pollard. Don't you can correct me better than I know. All I know is Bernard Pollard said that this team won't win. He wants to go to a winner, and that's the last time I've seen Bernard Pollard play football. And that kind of struck me, like it kind of like hit a chord with me because I had to play here. Like I didn't get a choice. Like you know what I'm saying? I would have loved to have gone somewhere where they're winning all the time, but like I had to play here. I came here when they were a yard short of the Super Bowl and didn't make it, and then we went 13-3. We didn't make it, and then we went 5-11, 4-12, and we had to build our way back. So for me, that's how I know I'm a Tennessee Titan.
Yeah,
because I was here when things were good, and then I was a part of bringing it back. So I don't know. Like I just feel some kind of way when people come through and try. They come here to get the opportunity to play, and they disrespect the flag. Regardless, Bernard Pollard is a great person. Like I know Bernard personally. I just didn't really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you there. I get what you're saying, and I don't think he's played since then. I think he actually is retired and doing some good.
He shouldn't have played since then. Don't come through here disrespecting what we're doing or trying to build. You know what I'm saying? Especially, I'll keep it at that.
Yeah. The reverse effect of that would be somebody like Delaney Walker, who came here the same summer and has really just solidified what it means to be a Tennessee Titan.
And look, Delaney Walker was the H-back with San Francisco 49ers, through the beginning of the Colin Kaepernick thing. And, I feel like, who got Delaney here? Was it Reinfeld or was it,
it was Rustin.
Our GM. Oh, it was okay. Okay, cool. Well, look, at least that establishment did something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He didn't do shit else besides that.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like Delaney Walker is one of those guys. Like, he's a football player, man. You know what I mean? He's somebody that was an H-back with the 49ers. I remember he would have certain packages, and then he just developed himself into the football player he is today. Like, Delaney Walker is he's a problem. He's a matchup problem.
Yep.
Even if I were playing the game right now, you can't, not pay attention to Delaney Walker. He probably had, 30 snaps in the preseason, and he was already making plays down the middle of the field, you know what I mean, for Marcus Mariota. So I think Delaney Walker is one of those Frank Wycheck-esque type players that is a safety cushion for your quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't think anybody would pass Frank as maybe being the best tight end ever. And I'm not saying Delaney's there, but he's got a couple more years here. And a lot of people are saying that maybe it's just he's looking better because they didn't have a lot of options the last couple of years. But I'm with you. I think he's a great, the safety option, safety valve for a young quarterback, just kind of like Frank was for Steve. But man, he doesn't quit. He's big. He's strong. He's deceptively quick to be as big as he is. And like I said, he don't take any plays off the way it looks to me, just as a fan watching. So, and like you said, one of the few good things Rustin Webster done.
Yeah, man. You got to respect Delaney's game because he came in as a fullback, H-back type guy.
Yeah.
Like they would line him up in a backfield with the 49ers, number 44, and you would see him, he'd catch the ball, and like, yo, Colin Kaepernick thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, the way I always appreciate a guy that expands their game, because it's one of those things that just shows kept working and working and working. And then, like, for us, the Titans, to be such a young franchise, I always appreciate a person that comes here and doesn't just get their paycheck and, you know what I mean, and just doesn't just, you know, settle up. They try and make things better, and I feel like Delaney is one of those guys for sure.
So, you know, playing with Tennessee for 10 years and going to play for the Giants, everybody knows them. That you're a New York guy, so they're two of the more hype teams coming up this season. You know, I mean, Eli's got all kinds of weapons. Marcus got all the weapons, and the Giants' defense looks like it's going to be for real. I think the Titans a little bit. You know, they're still building. I mean, I think their defensive line means business. You know, that secondary still a question mark. But who you buying into a little bit more this season, Tennessee or New York?
I think New York goes as far as Eli takes them. I like, you know, I like the boy from Alabama, Landon Collins. He's definitely a baller. We'll see, man. Like, they got, you know, Spagnuolo's a great defensive coordinator. They have offensive weapons that aren't proven. But Odell Beckham Jr. is one of those guys that is going to demand a double team. So that way you hope Shepard and, you know, those other wide receivers get an opportunity to do their thing. I feel also that if Giants implement a little bit more of the running game, that's when they won their Super Bowls. That'll be good. But Tennessee, man, like, we're here, man. I feel like the Titans, we're here. It's just up to them. You know, I honestly, to be 100% honest, I just feel like they're too nice of a football team. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the Titans are a very nice football team, and they don't have, like...
They need somebody out there talking some shit. Just
right, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I just feel like they're a nice football team, and they don't got nobody that's like a real killer on their team. When I say killer, I mean that, like, you know, it doesn't matter who's coming through Nashville on any given weekend. We're going to handle that business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, they've got some good leaders, I feel like, but, I mean, Marcus is a quiet guy. Jarrell Casey's been that dominant figure on the defensive end, but he's a quiet guy. Morgan and Rakpo, all these guys, you don't see really anybody just showing a lot of, I was about to say not showing a lot of fire. I'm talking about getting up in you and, you know, being seen.
Hey, man, like, look, today is 2017, so it's a different type of football game. I just know that, you know, I just know what I was about. I know what my boys were about. But this team is definitely, I feel like, can win some games. And maybe it's just a new type of football, new type of game. But, like, shit, you come through Tennessee, man, we're going to let you know what it is.
Are you a believer in Marcus Mariota?
Oh, yeah, Marcus is official, man. Little Marcus is official, man. I didn't even really realize how big he was. Little Marcus is official. I call him Little Marcus just because, like, Little Marcus is official. Trust me. He's going to do his thing. Like, he plays with confidence. His teammates have confidence in him. His teammates have confidence in him like Steve McNair's teammates had confidence in them. Like, I can see that already. And, you know, he's not scared out there. He's just out there playing ball. And him getting hurt, he probably needed to get hurt to see that, you know, he can make these things happen.
His teammates love him. That's the same thing like Steve had, like you said. So when you have that, when your offensive line wants to go, I read a awesome article last month how the offensive line goes out and drinks on Thursdays or something, and Marcus is their DD. He said he don't even drink, but he's out with them every Thursday, hanging out with them still regardless.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, that's what it's all about. Like, people ask me about my career, man. I lived it. Like, people ask me, do I miss it? No, I don't miss it because I did it. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that Marcus Mariota and his linemen and his guys will always, embrace and remember is that they spent that time together. And regardless if these boys win a Super Bowl or become offensive, defensive MVP, whatever it is, man, these boys are out here living it and trying to represent for Nashville. And for me, that's what it's about, man. Enjoying your life and putting your best foot forward and enjoying what you're doing.
Talking about just hanging out with those guys and everything. And, one thing I really like, and I'm going to touch on something in a second, but one thing I really like what they've done the last couple of years is have the alumni weekends. I don't know if they've done it last year. I know they've done it the year before. Who of all that group, which one of those guys have you stayed the closest with since retirement?
I would say, man, I stayed the closest with like Tank Williams, Samari Rowe, Albert, Roberta Smith. I stayed look, man, I played here for 10 years, so all those guys are my guys. Like I don't care what they say. I might suffer from a little bit of CTE, so some guys I forget, but when I see their faces, those are my guys. You understand what I'm saying? So playing here for 10 years, I'm the type of person, I didn't play football for money. I played football to be the best, and if I'm the best, however good I am, I'm going to get paid accordingly. And when it came to my teammates, I wouldn't give a shit if you're a practice squad guy for a year or you're a special teams guy for, 2 years or you're, safety for 3 years. We're all in it together, man. It's like a brotherhood.
Who would you say was the team that you hated the most playing against? And no, whether that be because you couldn't beat them or because they talked the most trash or whatever. A lot of people would think the division rivals, but for me as a fan, I'll say as a fan, the Ravens. From the Ravens from the Eddie and Steve days up until the playoffs in 2008. But another team that irked me really, really bad to watch as a fan was the Chargers. I hated the Chargers. So what's your answer on that?
Yeah, man, I hate the Chargers, man. You know what I mean? I don't even know if you can cuss on this.
Go ahead.
Whatever. Fuck the Chargers, man.
Yeah.
I remember we had the Chargers at one point, when we just weren't really good. To the point, I remember Rob Reynolds was asking me, what do I do on this play? You know what I mean? Just because he wasn't even expected to play. I feel like we went 4-12 that year. LaDainian had 4 touchdowns in the first half. It was crazy. You know what I mean? But then after that, I remember they came to Nashville and they beat us at the end. I just don't like the Chargers, man. You know what I mean? I just don't like the Chargers, man. Whatever.
Is Philip? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. Does Philip Rivers? Is he actually a cool guy? Is he a big a prick as he looked like during the game?
You know what? As much as I've seen Philip Rivers act up, and all that, us playing against him, he wasn't the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Philip Rivers wasn't the problem. Yeah, they just had our number. The Chargers had our number. I remember we played them in the playoffs. That was the best game we played against them, and I feel like we won that game. They just outscored us.
Was that 07? 06?
Yeah, they just man, but yo, look, they had a great team. They didn't win shit, just like we didn't win shit.
They underachieved. Also, yeah. I in the last couple of years, just kind of watching Rivers, and maybe it's just because he's getting older, maybe he's not as fiery, or maybe it's just because they hadn't been any good. I've lessened a little bit on him. I'm like, man, maybe he's not that bad of a guy. He's family. Right.
Because he ain't out there winning shit. He's just out there.
Yeah, that's what it is. I think. Yeah.
Word.
So we're gonna do a few listener questions. If that's cool with you. I put it out on Facebook. So, I'll do the first one, Lucas. You just follow in.
Sure.
Our listener Jeremy Mackey says, with your background broadcasting preseason games, Do you have any interest in ever doing TV work again in the future?
Yeah, I do, man. The reason why I stopped doing that is I went and I got my master's, man. You know, what was more important to me was I was blessed, obviously, to make a nice amount of money. So I need to figure out what's going on in the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that kind of took me away from media. But like, yeah, I definitely would love to do media. That shit's easy to me.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, yeah, you know, it's just got to be the right opportunity. I ain't no sellout.
Yeah, I think those guys do a good job that calls the games now. Charles Davis and I think his name is Dan Healy, but maybe I'm biased, but I really enjoyed from a player, hearing the player side of it when you and Eddie done together that summer. I thought it was really neat.
Yeah, I definitely had fun doing that, man, and it was like you know, like I feel like I got better every time because it's about learning and getting the reps, and you know, so yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like if I get that opportunity, I'm prepared for that. And all the media stuff I do now is, you know, part of just staying prepared for that opportunity, those opportunities.
Yeah, because I mean, you had the show last year with Mike Keith, which I mean, I came down to one of those, and that looked like you had a blast.
We're doing it again this year. We're doing it again this year. Mike Keith Bulluck, come through again. We're gonna have it cracking. Let's go. I don't even know where it's at.
I need a season pass for that. Can you hook me up?
Of course, I got you.
I think last time you had to win something. I do think you had to win a spot on there or something. I can't remember how that went.
Well, nah, don't even worry about it. Nah, I got it. I got the hookup. How about you hear me?
Master P. I ain't heard that in about 20 years.
Hey, that was a good pickup. That was a good pickup right there.
Hey, I'm telling you, I got that old school rap right. I was talking to you about the Defiant ones. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Yeah,
that's funny.
White guy in the middle of nowhere here knows all about that.
You know what I'm saying?
And Jeremy's second part of his question, he said, I've tweeted a few times asking for a pair of the famous red gloves. Any way he can get a pair?
Yeah, I can make that happen, man. You know, we'll do something where we can give some like real fans some things this year with the podcast. So with the podcast, with the Titans show, man, like I like to do, you know, the Titans keep tight control over that, but if they want to keep using me, man, you know what I'm saying, we got to do some more things for the fans.
There you go. I think and we'll talk about that a little bit too, and a few questions on down the line, but we do really appreciate you, man, because like I said, we're not doing anything. We do this for free basically on our, you know, and we don't get paid nothing either of ourselves. We're just doing this out of our own pocket. And so anytime we can land somebody like you, man, that somebody.
It's huge. It's huge for us, man. Thank you very much.
Hey, man. Yeah. Hey, check this out, man. Them cats that like used to play and try and be like they don't want to be on your podcast. Tell them stop acting like that, man. They ain't nobody, man. They better get their ass on there and start talking.
We may have to
recruit you to help us out a little.
Yeah, no doubt.
We had Dyson on early. I'm talking early when I don't even want to go back and listen to that. We were so green with it. That was like episode 4. The Mike Keith was on with us about episode 17. And Bernard's
you guys got great guys, man.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys need to get Hainsworth. That's what you probably need to get. Yeah. Hainsworth. You get your Javon Curse. You get your Samari Rowe. You know what I'm saying?
I really, really want to get Albert. I've reached out to Albert on Instagram, but he don't really know me. Like, I've only met Albert once at his restaurant in Knoxville.
Albert's not really socially, like, he's not really, like, media social. So, like,
yeah. And I've never met Javon, so I'd love to talk to some of those guys, man. But yeah, we appreciate you though, for sure.
Yeah. Hey, our next question comes from James Hatcher. He wants to know, who's the best quarterback you faced and why?
Man, I have to say Peyton Manning, man, because like Peyton Manning, he was a guy that like we will play the Colts, and we already know they have like 7 plays that they're going to run, and he just knew exactly when to run them, when to check, when like Peyton Manning is like there are only like several people that I really want to have like a football like date with, like, and word. Peyton Manning is one of them. I just want to talk football with him. Like, you know what I mean? I don't really like to talk football, but I like to talk football with Peyton Manning and ask him, like there's certain things that Peyton did, like while we were playing. It's like, how did you know that?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Have you ever seen anybody have command of the field like he had? I mean, just be able to read the other side and change stuff as quick as he did.
Nah, like, you know, like, I know I was a good football player because, like, I made several plays off Peyton Manning, and they're like highlight film plays.
Right.
Because Peyton Manning's not going to give you the opportunity to make him, like, you know, to make him look bad. And, like, I think one was a one-handed catch, one was like a catch at the line of scrimmage, and then one was like, yeah, you see, like, I'm like naming things that don't really happen in sports. Yeah. So, Peyton Manning, definitely. And, you know, Tom Brady was always on point, too.
Did he just have the privilege of working for or playing for a better organization? Do what?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. I said I cut you off.
Oh, you're good. Do you think Brady? You know, a lot of people pick Peyton for years over Brady, and now that Brady's won so many championships, and everybody's kind of putting him on that pedestal over Peyton. But do you think it's just more of where he was privileged to play for probably a better organization in the Patriots than? I mean, Indy's owner's a nut job, you know. So I mean,
look, man. Like, how can you say it's a better organization? Peyton Manning and them, they like. Look, Dwight Freeney and I went to college. Like, we're friends from college.
Yeah,
like, we played college together. And the only losing season they had is the season that Peyton didn't play. You understand what I'm saying?
That's true.
So I can't necessarily say that. Like, I don't feel bad for them.
No, I don't. No. Look, I hate the Colts. I don't understand why we can't beat the damn Colts. I think we've had a better talent than the Colts.
Yeah, you know, well, look, like, the Colts now ain't the same Colts that when Marvin Harrison, Edgerrin James,
absolutely.
Reggie Wayne, and Dallas Clark. Like, those are defensive matchups. You understand what I'm saying? And then you got to watch Jeff Saturday right now every weekend, you know, or every week, you know, as a Hall of Fame guy. Mm-hmm. And, like, look, Jeff Saturday, not taking anything away from him. And I didn't say that to, like, knock Jeff Saturday because he got better every year that I played against him. But my point being is, look, I played in the same conference as the Peyton Manning Colts.
Mm-hmm. Now, they were legit back then for sure. And they weren't good last year. They weren't good, and they still beat us twice. Man,
Edgerrin James with the dreads. Edgerrin James with the dreads was a beast.
Yeah, I agree. I hate the Colts. That goes without saying. You hate anybody, but I mean the Jags are such a joke. You can't really even hate the Jags. You know, they're just and the Texans.
They had Fred Taylor and Maurice Jones-Drew.
They weren't jokes then. That's for sure. And they got a lot of talent right now. Their quarterback situation is just jacked up. And same with Houston. If Houston can find a competent quarterback, man, they're still probably going to be pretty tough to beat.
How do you guys like the AFC South this year?
I think, like what I was just saying, I think it's all dependent, in my opinion, on quarterback play. I mean, I think Jacksonville every summer or every spring puts together a solid team on paper. And Houston, and when you get Watt and Clowney together, I mean, I think it's going to be. I still think Tennessee's the better. I think they're the best team, don't you? I mean, trying to be unbiased as we can be, I still think they have the most talent.
Yeah, I just feel like when it comes to the Titans, people ask me. That's like one of the number one questions. Oh, how do you think Titans are? I just feel like the Titans, they don't have any. I just feel like they're a bunch of nice guys.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we play in a small market, and that's where the Tennessee Tyrants really came from because nobody gave us credit, but we were a good team. So then I was just like, fuck it, like. You know, like, we'll just take our respect, and that's where it comes from. I feel like playing here, you have to take your respect, and I feel like, you know, to each their own. I had my time, but, you know, I feel like these guys play to the straight and narrow, whereas, you know.
I agree. I mean, I'll tell you one I do like, and Taylor Lewan's got that nastiness a little bit. I think he's got a little bit of that fuck the league in him, you know.
Yeah, look. You know what? I like Taylor. I like the whole team. I like everything everybody does. But look, man, Nashville has become one of those towns where it's cute to be here, and everybody wants to come through. And I didn't know it as that. Like our teams didn't know it as that. So
it was hard to get a ticket when y'all played.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like, and like I say, bro, like my time is done. The league has changed and everything, but the Tennessee Tyrants were a thing for real because we had to be. You know what I'm saying? Because no one's really respecting. We were 10-0, and no one was respecting us. We had to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers and stomp on the towel for people to even realize that we were, one of the top teams in the NFL. So.
Yeah, and they're getting talked about, but like I said, I don't know what respecting. I don't know if
it's cute, man. It's cute now. I just feel like it's cute now. The hockey team just did, you know what I mean? So, like, for a national story, it's cute to talk about Nashville. Everybody wants to come here. They want to get on these fucking trolley carts with the beer and shit. Like,
hey, get out there and pedal with them flip-flop girls and shit.
Nobody does that. Like, stuff. Like,
who wants to do that shit? I'm in Nashville all the time, and never have I once said, man, I'm about 10 beers in. I got a good buzz, man. Let's jump on one of those carts.
I'm trying to tell you, bro.
Let's go sweat my fat ass off on one of those carts for the next 45 minutes. One time I was coming into Nashville and our GPS was down. We were trying to, I forget why we even had a GPS pulled up. We were trying to find a parking. I can't remember. But these girls, and they were hot girls. They didn't let any ugly fat girls. They wasn't no ugly or fat girls on the cart, on the thing. And this girl was, I guess she thought I was recording her. Right? So, but I had my phone up reading the map or reading the directions, whatever I was trying to do. And I saw her start bouncing a little bit more, and I was like, I was watching, don't get me wrong. I mean, I looked up a time or two, but I was still trying to concentrate on what parking lot I was trying to get in. And we finally went around. She said, "Hope you got your good picture, pervert." I said, man, I wasn't even taking a picture.
The perv.
So I wasn't even taking a picture. But I checked you out once or twice. But yeah, all that. And then, man, all these teams have took over the stadium the last few years. Like, I get it when the Packers travel and when the Bears and the Steelers and Cowboys when they come every once in a while. But I was at the Bills game last year, and I ain't never met a Buffalo Bills fan in my life, and there was all kinds of them.
Yeah, I mean, and that's honestly where that terrible towel, that's what gave me the motivation to stomp the terrible towel, because it's a home game is a home game.
Yeah.
And I take that stuff very seriously. And, great. Certain fans travel. The Cheeseheads travel. The Bears travel. The Packers travel. The Steelers travel. But at the end of the day, at my stadium, when you come through and you want to travel like you're a caravan and we beat your ass, you just take it. Take it.
What I can't understand is, when you guys played, there was still they still had the opposing teams there. Well, you guys would win, and if they were up there, they were in the upper deck. They would have one section, maybe 20 people in the upper deck. Man, the last few years it's been lower bowl and taken over. Like, I was at the Dolphins game 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. The whole freaking lower bowl was chanting Dan Marino. That shit's embarrassing, man. He's a true Titans fan,
Yeah, I wasn't there for that, but I mean, that's very embarrassing. But shoot, they got to sell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They got to sell tickets. Nashville is growing. They want to play to the people that come to Nashville. So we got to, I guess, as fans, you got to go with the trend, whether you like it or not.
No. All right, third question here is from Joey Meredith, and he notes, he said, this is from Joey Meredith, the fan, not the employee. He's actually my ticket rep for the Titans. He said, which linebacker on the current roster has the most upside, and what is Keith's relationship with the Titans organization now that he's retired?
I would say this kid number 57, he keeps getting his hands on the ball. what's his name? You guys know better than me, man.
Definitely. Are you talking about the rookie this year?
Yeah, from UCLA.
Yeah, 50. I think he's 55. Jayon Brown.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know he's getting his hands on the ball a lot,
all over the place.
Yeah, but then it also reminds me of Colin McCarthy, right? You know what I'm saying? So I think that they have some young talent. It's just a matter of consistency, man. Like, shoot, I played for the Titans for 10 years. I didn't start until my third year. And, like, what I'm starting to realize now, what I didn't realize before, is that every year for 8 years, I did the same thing. You know what I mean? So when people ask me about this player, that player, or the other, just, you know, they're all good players. They just got to get some more time under their belt and develop a little bit more.
I'm of the belief, as far as that number goes, that, you know, this is not just it's not just saying it because we're talking directly to you, but I feel like that 53 needs to be up there hanging with 9 and 27 because, hey, look, DeAndre's Mountain was cool when he was here a couple years ago. He was really cool to me, but it didn't even look right seeing that 53 on a rookie, a 6th-round draft pick. So we got to talk to somebody about that.
I mean, you know what? That's so should Jeff. Like, Jeff gave my number away automatically to I believe. You know what I mean? I know I know the story behind that. Like, Jeff gave my number away, like, without a problem. So, like, it's just one of those things that, you know, I don't care. To me, Keith Bulluck personally, I don't care. Like, because I know y'all know what it was. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, y'all, like, it was a point where I just wanted to get on the field as a first-round draft pick. Mind you, I didn't start till my third year. And Urlacher had gone to the Pro Bowl, LeVar Arrington had gone to the Pro Bowl, Julian Peterson. All these guys are guys that got drafted in my class. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm still trying to get on the field just to show what I can do. So, yeah, man, like all that other stuff, man, that stuff was secondary to me. But I don't know. That's on y'all. That's what I got to do as far as, you know, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, for me, I played to be the best. Like, and, you know, that's up to the fans.
Yeah.
Linebacker for the Titans, I was the best linebacker. At the end of the day, I had a great time, and I played as hard as I could for the team I played for.
Well, I mean, there's a reason you're hanging up in the wrap. I mean, you're out. Have you seen the thing out in the concourse with the Titans greats and all that, all the stuff they've done?
Yeah, no, I've seen that before.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, I think. So, the second part of that question was, how was your relationship now with the organization? I mean, you're good, right?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Like, honestly, like, to be 100%, like, I would love to do stuff with the front office. I would love to work in the front office, like, however it works, to help put the team together that wins the Super Bowl, because I played for the organization that didn't win the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? And right now, the opportunities I get, like, I do media, all that different stuff. But for me, if I really wanted to get into football, it would be more front office. And I'm just enjoying my time with my family right now.
Well, he asked a lot of questions, Joey did, for this part of it, so I had some tied together for myself. But since you mentioned it, Pollard was kind of critical of some of the stuff that John Robinson's done, which is he's the only person I've really heard say any critical statements about some of the pickups. But where would you put John Robinson and the work that he's done, along with Amy Adams in the first couple years of John's regime here?
I think John Robinson's done a good job, man. Like, I feel like if you pay attention, and if you've been a Titans fan and you pay attention to what was done in the past and to what was done now, I feel like some of the moves didn't really make sense that they did in the past. For example, all right, if we can go back to 2009, 2010, I'll just put myself in the mix. They get rid of myself, Mawai, and KVB. like you get rid of all your leadership. So how is your team really supposed to have any fighting chance? And if you're rebuilding, what are the pieces that you're bringing in? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So for me, it's like I just felt like they didn't really. At some point, this organization was done a disservice. And it has nothing to do with me. Like, at the end of the day, I played my whole contract out. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that like most players don't get an opportunity to do. I re-signed for a 6-year contract, and I played all my contracts out in Tennessee. So that means that I did my job. I just feel that, for the fans and for, the team, because being in such a small market becomes more intimate, we just didn't maximize what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of players riding it out that long with one organization in any sport.
I think the average lifespan in the NFL is like 3.5 years right now, too, isn't it?
Yeah, 3.5.
Yeah, because half of Rustin Webster's draft picks is asses out of the league. I mean, you don't even see all these guys that we thought were going to be stars, and you look at but for real, Mettenberger and Sankey and all these guys that they picked. I mean, that right there shows what John Robbins has done. His first two rookie classes have stepped up and played a major part in these organizations. I mean, you look at Byard and Henry, and then like you said, you mentioned Jayon Brown, all these young cats that he's picked is coming on playing major roles. Maybe that's out of necessity, but Rustin Webster's draft classes are out of the league, DGB. So.
Yeah, like when you talk about Robinson, like he comes from a great lineage, comes from the New England Patriots, so with that being said, like, even if he was just a guy that was like an intern, he had an opportunity to kind of pay attention to see what type of guy to build off of. And, Marcus Mariota, I was somebody that wasn't even high on Mariota coming out just because I felt he might have been a little bit frail or whatever have you. As long as Marcus could stay healthy, man, like, the guys rally around him, he makes big plays. And look, I feel like Tennessee is primed to do something. I think John Robinson is the guy that's making it happen.
Our next question comes from Scott Brown. What are your reactions from the preseason, and do you believe that preseason games should still be played?
Preseason games definitely need to be played, bro. They need to be played just because so you can go out there. Like, for me, when I played, like, the preseason game, I needed to go out there and make a play. Like, I need to go out there focused. And every preseason, I made a play. I would make an interception, fumble recovery, a big. I just needed to do something, just like for myself to, like, give myself that confidence. Like, okay, cool. Because at the end of the day, what I love about the NFL is you have to prove yourself every single year. Doesn't matter who you are. Larry Fitzgerald is out there, old as shit. You got to prove yourself every year. Like, as a football player, you got to prove yourself every year, and I just always appreciated that about the NFL.
Yeah, I think it's important, too, for preseason games because you got to get your quarterback, receiver, you got to get that rapport.
Yeah, man, like great. Like, look, like, let's be honest. Like, you get over 100 reps in practice, but at the end of the day, like, you need to get some full speed reps. And I'm not saying you need to go out there and play 3 quarters if you're, a starting quarterback. But at the end of the day, you need to go out there and get your reps, man. Like, shit. Yeah. It just is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll say this before we move on. And it don't make a shit what I say because I've never played anywhere close to professional level. So it don't make a damn what I say. But I'm old school in this aspect. Is that all these guys saying they need to make the preseason either 2 games or non-existent a period? It goes to the NBA, man. I'm a huge NBA fan. I can talk about NBA for days, but it pisses me off knowing that these younger guys are wanting to cut the season down to 70 games or 62 games. They're tired of playing back-to-backs. If my memory serves me correct, Magic, Larry, Jordan, Shaq, Kobe, they all played 82-game schedules. They all played back-to-backs. They all played 4 games, 5 nights on road trips. Why do these guys think they're any different than the greats that came before them?
I just feel like it's like society, man. Like society is making it easier for like
people getting soft.
These kids, and then also like, look, man, I played AAU basketball and everything, and that's where it was at. Like now, they cater to the kids that play AAU and play with like you know the different traveling leagues. Whereas before, like I feel growing up, I grew up in the '90s. I'm a 1940 now. I just feel that like you had to earn what you had, what you needed. Whereas now it's like you're touted, and then that's just what it is.
What do you think about them not keeping score whenever they're young kids now? Those leagues just going out there and playing for the sake of the game. What do you think about that?
One more time, say it again.
I said, what do you think about where they like those young leagues, those peewee leagues and junior leagues and stuff? They don't keep score now. What do you think about that out there? Them playing just to be playing.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't feel like they're building any substance to the league that they're doing. Like you're just going out there and you just run and play. I was talking to my older brother the other day. He's a PE coach, and like I was telling him, like, yo, you got to teach certain techniques, man, because at the end of the day, they're 13, 12-year-old kids now, but they're gonna move on and want to keep playing football. So if you're just in there teaching them some BS, when are they ever going to learn the real fundamentals? And that's where it goes wrong, when they start learning the wrong tackling techniques and this, that, and the other. So that's why, me personally, I'm about to start doing football clinics here in Nashville and Tennessee area. So man. I just hate seeing the game being taught the wrong way.
That'll be pretty awesome for the area. Okay, Blake Allen says, were you and McNabb close after leaving Syracuse, and did McNabb and McNair have any similarities as far as leadership, game style, and game play?
Yeah, I would say Donovan and I were definitely close. Me and Donovan and I have always been close, man. He's like my big brother, man. Like, even if I tried to, like, not claim him, like, he would claim me. You know what I'm saying? So Donovan is, like, he's a great dude, man. He's always been there for me. I've known him since I was 17. So me and McNabb have always been, super cool. When we can link up, we link up. Steve McNair is somebody that definitely took me under their wing when I was here. And when I say under their wing, obviously he was a quarterback. I was a defensive player. Mac was somebody I could talk to. Like, he was the leader of our team. So if I felt like I was being too brash or being too anything, I would ask him. And Mac, tell me, man, just be you. Because at the end of the day, this league is going to do what they want to do. So enjoy yourself and be yourself. That's what Mac and Steve told me.
He just seemed like he was so laid back and so cool about every situation. Yeah,
man, like he was, man. He really was. Like, the way he can go out there and perform. I remember my rookie year when we played Kansas City here, and they knocked him into the equipment chest. And then, he was out for like 3 weeks. And then playing with him for another 4 years after that, seeing how he bounced back from that. And, it was one of those things, like, if my quarterback's that tough, I got to be that tough, like, it's definitely for me. Steve definitely set the stage for, the toughness of our team.
And for him to be as laid back as he was, and on the other side of that was Eddie. And you tweeted something, I think, the other day, and I quoted your tweet or something, and talked about just how passionate Eddie was pregame. You shouldn't have to get grown-ass men pumped up for games, but, man, if anybody could do it, Eddie George was the man to do it.
Yeah, man, Eddie George I call Eddie George Cap. Like, everybody has a superhero. Like, for example, Kevin Carter probably was the Hulk. I thought I was Wolverine growing up, but I'm more like Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
getting those interceptions.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But Eddie George is definitely Captain America. Like, I definitely remember like a game. We was getting drilled, and I just remember Eddie walking down the sidelines like, "Come on, guys, we're still in it. Let's go." And I'm like, "Eddie, man, if you don't sit your ass down and get out my face with that," but Eddie was just like the ultimate, like, "Nah, you gotta believe." And we didn't come back. We lost that game, but Eddie George, man, he had me believing, even though I knew we was gonna lose. I knew we were gonna lose, but Eddie had me believing.
Yeah. They should go away from whatever that bullshit is, that Forge the Future, because I don't like this robotic, monotone, gladiator sound stuff they're putting out there for promo videos, because they had Eddie on those promo videos last year. And man, you can talk about getting fired up for a game. You're right, man. I can't imagine being on the sidelines listening to that. But another thing, how awesome did he do on Ballers on that segment with The Rock?
Oh, man, damn, you would ask me about that.
You ain't watched it?
You know what, man? Nope.
Come on, man.
Yeah, nah, you know what? I watched Ballers the first season, and it was cool. Ballers is that shit's not real, man.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you would know.
God. Like, it's like one of those things, like...
Just stereotypical,
man,
huh?
I stood tall, did it all, man. I stood tall, did it all. I went as hard as I went on a Sunday. You can only imagine, you know, I didn't even do no drugs or no shit like that. But,
yeah.
Like, I hung out. Like, you know what I'm saying? I partied. Definitely got my party in.
Yeah.
I watched the first season of Ballers. I just didn't get to the second season, man.
What do you think was the most over-exaggerated aspect of it then?
I think the most exaggerated aspect of Ballers is the social life, man. Like, you know, like the life you have with your girlfriend, and, you know, that's just like, I don't know. I just didn't have those different experiences, man. Like, you know, it's just, there's a bunch of things that, it's a TV show at the end of the day,
right.
And it's all about entertainment, and, you know, that's cool. Like, I remember the first season, like, for example, if I'm a football player, I'm not going to give my former teammate, you know, who now is a money manager, $1 million of my own.
Yeah.
Especially if he wasn't
good with
next
money
to me in the locker room. Right. Especially if in the locker room he wasn't going around talking about, yo, I'm going to be this, that, and the other when I'm done playing. So, I don't know. But it's all for entertainment. The Rock is great. He does his thing. He's a Hall of Famer. I feel like The Rock is living his life. He's living his dream out within his acting career. It's awesome.
My God, man.
Yeah.
He is. He's
a Hall of Fame football player.
Yeah. You know, when he got, you know, his dream was the NFL, and he got cut from the CFL, and he come to Nashville to train to be a pro wrestler. That's why he calls it $7 production or whatever. He had $7 in his pocket when he moved to Nashville in his early 20s. So,
yeah, I remember he used to come through our facility and work out with Kenny Holmes. Kenny Holmes plays for it. Yeah, I remember Kenny Holmes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy to look at him. And he debuted in wrestling in 1996, and he was like one of those Samoans, you know. So he had that extra weight, you know. He ain't that cut up shredded Rock like he is now. He kind of had the man boobs going on. He had his hair come out. He looked like a chia pet when he first debuted. And you know, and I think he even had a breast reduction surgery like in '99 because he wrestled Mankind and had the shirt on for a couple matches.
Man, you took it back to me. Let me ask you a question. Who is your favorite wrestler of all time?
You're
top two. Give me your top three wrestlers.
He will do this.
Because, like, if you like wrestling, you can't just have one.
You
top three.
You know, he's all this football knowledge and stuff he's got, and all this basketball knowledge and shit he's got. He will quote some Royal Rumble shit from 1989 on you right here. He will bury you with some wrestling knowledge.
You're gonna make fun of my first selection, man, but I'm a heartbreak kid. Shawn Michaels. Love Shawn Michaels.
He comes in with some sweet chin music every time he walks in the studio.
Now, look, Shawn Michaels, like circa 95, 96, when he was wearing that gay-ass Village People outfit. You know, I wasn't feeling that. But no.
So you definitely rock with Steiner Brothers. If you like Shawn Michaels back then, like, you definitely were Steiner Brothers. Fan or not a fan of them, but you're familiar.
Oh yeah,
Scott,
Scott. I met Scott before. He's not a nice person, but
the Anvil. Hey, what about the Anvil Nightheart? The Anvil Nightheart.
The Anvil. All right. Now we're getting it. You cannot not love Stone Cold Steve Austin.
So like one of my favorite wrestlers is Sting. I was an AWA fan, man. I'm sorry.
So you was a Road Warrior fan. You was Elite Road Warriors.
You already know they were my favorite tag team wrestling guys ever.
They're badasses.
I like Dusty Rhodes too. Dusty Rhodes could not hide when he was cutting himself. Dusty Rhodes when he was cutting himself.
You see his forehead the last 20 years before he passed away?
What? Like it's all like Carter.
Yeah. Him and Terry Funk and all those guys. Ric Flair even done it. Yeah. I want to party so bad with Ric Flair. I had my chance 4 years ago. I was helping a friend of mine doing a wrestling convention.
I said Terry Funk. He said Terry Funk.
Terry Funk looked old as shit 30 years ago.
Terry Funk brings it.
When a little
kid. So you know who I'm cool with? I'm cool with Steve Nash. Like Steve Nash is like a friend of mine.
Wait,
Steve Nash could.
The NBA player, Steve Nash?
No. The wrestler.
Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash, my bad.
Yeah, Big Diesel.
And he's hurting right now.
How did you get connected with him?
So my best friend is an actor, and he was on, what's that movie?
I've been trying to think of it. Magic Mike.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Kevin was on Magic Mike, and my boy got married in Italy, and Kevin's a good dude. Man.
The first time I met him was in WrestleMania weekend in Atlanta, 2011. Okay, the town that's the biggest town. We live in around the Cookeville area.
Yeah.
And Hulk Hogan was doing midget wrestling. In the same weekend, I told Nash that. And of course, Nash, a lot of people don't know this about Kevin Nash. He went to school at the University of Tennessee, and he smacked that basketball coach, right? So
yeah, he played.
So he came. Yeah, he played like one semester or something in Knoxville. He smacked the coach. They kicked him off the team. So he came to Tennessee Tech. Nobody knows that. Very little people know that. And he, I guess just somewhere close, hear him to come. So the first time I met Nash, I said, look, I really look forward to meeting you. I said, Hulk Hogan's doing midget wrestling in Cookeville. He said, I know you're familiar with Cookeville. He goes, first off, why the fuck are you not watching midgets? Why are you meeting me right now? And then he said, Cookeville, man. He said, Cookeville was a dry town when I lived there. And he asked me if I knew the story, and I said, I did. And he said, every time we were on the road when we stopped in Cookeville, he said, when it got to be where they sold beer, he said he would always stop and get a 12-pack every time he went through Cookeville after that, just because,
It's Cookeville. It's not Cookville. It's Cookeville.
Okay, yeah, hey, I don't know why I'm saying Cookeville, because I never actually say Cookeville. I always say Cookeville.
Well, it depends if you're from Cookeville or not. If you lived in Cookeville, it's Cookeville, and if you didn't, it's Cookeville.
Nah, just trust me. I got hip to that. They told me years ago. It's not Cookeville. It's Cookeville.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I was trying to be proper.
From New York.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. I love talking some old school. I mean, I'm macho. I love Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, all that stuff I grew up on.
We probably get a Dusty Rhodes.
I think my favorite wrestler of all time, might be Sting.
I like Sting. I like Sting.
Sting. I like the Ultimate Warrior. Yeah, I was an AWA fan, so I always saw everybody convert to the NWA and WWF.
I've been known to have a few beers on the show and do a really annoying Dusty Rhodes every now and then. I'll just break it.
About once a month, we get a Dusty Rhodes on here.
One of my favorite guys was Freddie, Classy Freddie Blassie.
Oh, that's taking it way back right there.
Blasi. Oh my gosh.
And the one time I thought I was going to get to party with Ric Flair, like I was in that convention. I was in Rome, Georgia, and I was with a guy in a convention, helping him set up all his memorabilia and stuff. I just helped out, and I met Flair, and I said, "Man, I'm trying to party with you tonight." I said, "That's a bucket list thing." He said, "Brother, you find me after the show. We'll drink Miller Lite and red wine all night long, and give me the old woo." And
I just feel like he might, like, you hang out with them too long, they'll not marry you.
yeah,
Like you for sure.
You know, I met him sober, but I've met a lot of people that's met him after 10 p.m. They're like, "Man, Flair was such a dick," you know.
I feel like, you know what? They're gonna snap marry me like real quick, like real quick.
Hey, one of the funniest stories I've ever heard. It said that they were all drunk, like I forget where I heard the story at, but it was the Road Warriors. Is what it was? I think Bret Hart was telling it on something, and he said that they were all drunk in a strip club, like in the early '90s. And he said nobody's got enough balls to pick up Vince because McMahon was in there hammered with them. So the Road Warriors pick him up for their finisher. They got, Animal picks up Vince, and so Hawk gets on top of the bar and is about to do it. And as they do, they set him down. And Jim the Anvil Neidhart says, "Pussies, the Hart Foundation would have done it." Well, that crew would have been fun to party with, I think, back in the...
Oh, yeah, man. I need to be with them today.
Hey, while we're on party questions right now, it worked right into our... We'll go back to that other one, Lucas, but
yeah, go ahead.
Clint Fraley, one of our oldest friends here, he used to get down a little bit. He said, which Titan party the hardest, excluding Pac-Man? I guess he figured Pac-Man partied enough for everybody.
I would say me and Drew Bennett.
Drew Bennett? Really? Okay.
I would say I went as hard as I went on the field. I probably went off the field. I didn't make no coke and no shit like that. Like, I didn't do no type shit like that.
I got you.
You know what I mean? Like, we drank just shit like that. I didn't just do drugs, though. You know what I mean?
Right. What's that?
Yeah, like, as hard as I went off the field, I went off. Like, as hard as I went on the field, I went off the field. I said Drew Bennett, Tank Williams, John Hurst, Mario. We all kicked it, man. Like, that was what was great about, like, that Tennessee Titans team, man. Like, we were just all, like, playing here in this market, man. It was, like, almost like college. Like, you're, like, fifth-year seniors. Like,
Yeah.
You're, like, fifth-year seniors with a pocket full of cash that, like, your money doesn't do anything for you because you're here in Nashville. Like, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we just, like, really kicked it, man. We really just, like, hung out.
You mentioned all those names, didn't say nothing about Vince Young and no TGI Friday, so I'm proud of you.
Oh, man, because that's all made up shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? That's, like, something that, like,
The media.
okay, we might have done that before, and, like, if he was there, I was there, and anything we did, everybody put their own money in, too. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, ain't nobody all going. Vince Young ain't never go out by himself. I mean, look, I'm sure he went out by himself before and, like, treated some people, but he ain't never... Like, we would go out, like, during those years with Vince Young, Travis Henry, all those people playing. We would go out on Fridays, and, like, we're going to go to Jillian's, Dave & Buster's, one of those things out there. And, yeah, we're going to spend a few $1,000s, but everybody's putting their money in. You know what I mean? Because if you think about that time, like, we sucked. Like,
Yeah.
As a football team, we're going to go out on Friday to, like, I remember, like, I didn't even like going to the grocery store because I didn't want to show my face around because, like, we were that bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things. I just feel like VY got a bad rap. Like,
Absolutely.
Ain't nobody going to go spend $250,000 at, like, Ruby Tuesdays on, like, come on, man, like, relax. Like, that's not happening.
It ain't
like,
yeah.
Could he have done some, like, outlandish stuff before? Yeah, absolutely. But whatever it was, like, it wasn't like on no regular thing. Because anything VY did, I was with him. So.
Well, we got one more question here from Mark Lee, and we've talked about it a couple of times already, but tell us, how did it really feel to stomp on that terrible towel?
It's one of those leading up to that game, man. Like, they didn't really give us a chance to win. Remember, Albert didn't play, Kyle didn't play. Like, we had just lost. We started off 10-0, and I think we had just lost like 2 of 3, however it worked, and they weren't really giving us like a chance of anything. And Pittsburgh fans travel very well. So my whole thing was like, yeah, you know what I mean? Don't come to my stadium with that shit, bro. Like, get out of here with that. So, like, once we made enough plays and the game was, I think Mike Griff ran the interception back like 60 yards.
Yeah, man.
Like, get out of my stadium with that, man, because at the end of the day, we clinched home field with that win. And, you know, we knew, like, if we played Pittsburgh, I knew they had to come back to here. I just feel that the only thing that went wrong with that was after the game. I remember this specifically. Like, reporters asked, certain people on our team about, stomping the towel, and they're like, "Nah, that's not us. We don't do that." And I remember before that, when I played with Lance Filters, and I remember when the reporter came to me and was like, Lance Filters called Jerry Rice a crybaby. Is he a crybaby? And I was like, I said that? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, well, if he said it, then he is. You know what I'm saying?
That's good shit.
So, so when we, like, the whole towel stomp, there were guys on the team like, oh, nah, that's not Titan football, this, that, and the other. But nah, that is Titan football.
That's what you needed.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what it is. Like, and we all weren't on the same page, and Ravens came in here and beat us, whatever, man. This shit sucked.
I mean, Pittsburgh was tough like that. Baltimore was tough like that. You needed somebody to stomp on that towel and say, this is our house, man. So, I mean,
no, bro. Like, look, all day, man, you ain't coming through here and, like, nah, it will never happen. It'll never happen. It'll never happen. You can't just come through here thinking that shit is sweet, ever. Sorry.
No, I'm with you, man. I'm pissed off. I'm disappointed in whoever said that they shouldn't have been done. So,
well, we'll let Kaharski go back and find the guys who were saying that. No, that's not our style.
Yeah,
100 our style.
But he's got his own website now. We have to pay to read the answer.
Fuck his website. I like Paul, but shit, I ain't paying for his website.
No, man. I read all the free shit, but now he had me to the other day. I was trying to read something that said, click here if you want to become a subscriber. I was like, shit, this is 2017. I ain't paying for nothing on the internet.
I like Paul. Paul's cool. Paul get under everybody's skin.
I tell you who's cool. He's rubbed. Like, I always try to speak to Paul. And I ain't nobody. Paul don't know who I am, but I always like, what's up, Paul? And it's like, if he does speak, it's like, who the hell are you speaking to me? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, but
right.
Jim White's cool as hell. He's been on here a couple times with us. I like Jim.
Yeah, Jim is solid, man. Jim is a very solid guy. I told Jim, man, if I ever write a book, I'm gonna write a book with you, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jim White is a good dude.
It looked like y'all were talking about alcohol, man. Did y'all like film the Mayweather-McGregor fight on your Instagram from a liquor store?
Nah, man. Actually, nah. You know what? I went to one of my friends' house. I know what you're talking about. I went to one of my friends' house that invited me to the fight, man. I guess, look, maybe he's a distributor. I don't know, man. Like, shit. Like, look, in 2017, like, you don't need to be a bootlegger, right? Like, I don't know.
These people out here slinging meth. I ain't worried about liquor.
Hey, look, you need liquor? I got it.
Yeah. It's funny, man.
That's his motto. Like, I was like, man, what's going on here?
That's like,
yeah, for sure.
This is like where we're from. Like I said, Cookville earlier, Cookville, whatever. But we live about 40 miles north of there, so we're like middle of nowhere back here, right? So everybody, like, this is the real moonshine capital. So.
But look, I'm doing the Titans radio show this year, so when you come through, man, you bring me some. Don't come down empty-handed.
What you want? Straight? You want flavored? What you want?
I want flavored. I want the cinnamon apple.
Hey, there's a taxi driver. He works for the checkered cab down there, the green checkered cab. And his name was, well, I ain't gonna say his name on the podcast, but we were down there years ago for a concert, and it blew my mind. He said, "Where you boys from?" And I said, "Clay County." He said, "Clay County, shit, that's the home of moonshine, isn't it?" And I said, "Yeah, man." He said, "You better hook me up." And I said, "Straight or flavored?" He said, I want straight." And I said, "All right." So I brought him 5.
Damn,
yeah.
Straight?
Yeah. So that was like,
damn.
I can't handle straight, man. I've been around it my whole life down here. I can't handle straight, so I have to have it flavored.
Hey, so you heard me? I said cinnamon apple.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
Yeah, I got you. So I brought him those 5 quarts of straight before a concert I went to, and then so he hooked me up with a free taxi ride, and he paid me a little bit, but just because it was 5 quarts, you know what I'm saying? But it ain't like it was 1 or 2. So
great.
So I called him like a week later. I said, and I called him by his name. I said, "What's up with that moonshine? How'd it treat you?" He goes, "You got my whole family drunk over Christmas." I said, "We all got drunk."
Hey, look, if he's drinking that straight, he a gangster, bro.
Yeah.
Like, if he's drinking that straight,
yeah, man.
Like he's like straight, like man, that shit's ripping his system as soon as he gets it.
So yeah, as long as like that's what I'm saying. Like I ain't even worried about moonshine or liquor. Like there's meth out on the streets. Like I don't even think bootlegging should be a thing in this time and age.
No bullshit.
So yeah,
hey, that's funny. There is definitely meth out here.
It's right down the road from us too. It's a bad thing.
Hey, that shit is like in the woods somewhere behind your house.
Yeah, not behind my goddamn house. Somebody's house. Somebody's house.
Hey, the sheriff. They had the sheriff. The sheriff had like a meth lab like a mile behind the house, like years ago. He's talking about he didn't know it was there. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. He's out there picking scabs and scratching, can't quit itching.
That's hilarious, bro.
What'd you think about that fight this weekend?
What's that?
Did you like the fight?
Yeah, I mean, look, man. I feel like Mayweather did a good job of like prolonging it. Like they made it into like the money's worth. Like for people who really like paid their money, you know what I'm saying? Like because at the end of the day, I feel like McGregor, he trains for however many months to be a boxer. Like
6 months.
You know, like good for him, man. Like he did his thing. Like there's no way, like any one of us, if we were a person, boxer or karate man, that we're gonna get in the MMA ring. We're gonna get tapped the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, for sure.
You know, like although his style was awkward, whatever it was, he got out there, man. Whatever.
Yeah, I had which obviously it's Mayweather anyway, so you got to respect Mayweather, but I had a whole different respect for Mayweather because they said that right there before he got ready to walk out, there were so many people trying to get on the servers that they actually crashed California and Florida's servers. So he stayed in the back longer for them to get a chance to get California and Florida back up, man. That's just business, man, right there. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, I definitely I know that about Floyd because I know people in his camp, and like at the end of the day, look, man, we know he could have outboxed Conor McGregor in 3 rounds if he wanted to. Like, you know what I mean? But at 40, you're getting $100 million. All these people are paying this, that, and the other. You want to give them their money's worth. And, like, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
$300 million,
appreciate that. And what I do appreciate also is that, look, Floyd stood in front of him. Like, beat me up if you can beat me up.
Yep.
He gave him 4 rounds to do his thing, and then he didn't, and then when he tired out, Floyd was like, all right, then let me do what I do.
Yeah, and at the end of the third round, whenever Floyd was walking away, whenever the bell rung at the end of the third, he turned around. He was smiling. You could see he had full control of it at that point in time. Connor was done after the end of the third. Just nobody knew it yet, and he was over there sitting on his stool, and he turned around and smiled, flashed that big smile to the camera, and it wasn't anything to him. He's been doing it for 36 years. It just wasn't anything to him.
Right, and look, and even if it was a formidable challenger, you're gonna go out in the first few rounds anyway to see what they got. It's just like football. We go out and the first 3-4 series, they're gonna do their plays, and then they're gonna do something different, different wrinkle, and then after that, the game is on. And they're how much are they really going to do unless they pull a trick play out of their ass in the fourth quarter? But whatever.
Yeah.
Hey man, just kind of wrap up. A couple more questions with you, but first off, being a New York guy, I got a couple New York questions. What in the hell is going to happen with Carmelo and the Knicks this year?
Man, I'm a Syracuse guy. Melo's my guy, man.
Yeah, I know.
Melo's my guy. You know what? Melo, I appreciate the way Carmelo handles his business.
Yeah, man.
Because, look, I'll tell you like this, man. It was 4 or 5, 6 years ago, whatever. When the Knicks were when Melo first got there, they had J.R. Smith. We were in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I was in the club. It's 3:00 in the morning, and I look to my right, and I see J.R. Smith and Rihanna. And I'm like, yo, I'm in my head. I'm like, yo, don't you got a playoff game tomorrow? Game 7?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
So to me, J.R. Smith is in the club with Rihanna the night before the playoff game, and then we lose. And Melo don't say nothing. You know what I mean? So to me, it's just oh man, But I just feel Melo's just one of those guys who just plays his game. He's not going to really check his teammates. Whereas LeBron got championships because he's going to check his teammates. But at the end of the day, I'm riding with Melo, man, because it's Syracuse.
That's
right.
You
feel me?
I
don't care.
I respect. I liked Carmelo a lot when he came in the league. I liked him in Denver. So with the Knicks, but I'll tell you what, I've got a newfound respect for him.
I can't talk bad about Melo. You're not going to get me to talk bad.
No, that's not where I'm going. No, hey, that's not where I'm going. I got a newfound respect for him this past season because all of the craziness that was going around the Knicks, Carmelo never said anything. He never said, I want to be traded, because in my heart, man, he's a Syracuse guy. His whole dream has always been to play in the Garden, and he's got that now. And, no matter how bad they are, he's home. He's where he wants to be. Everybody's got this fantasy that, him and Bron and D Wade and CP3 are going to play together. That ship's about sailed, man. They're getting old as hell,
Yeah, not for sure.
And I just don't feel like he wants to go anywhere. Him and his wife having those issues, and he wants to be close to his kid. I just wish I could see him on more of a contender, but at the same time,
his wife's sex scenes on Power too intense. Look, Heather, that's my wife's name. She's gonna go do them scenes. You better go ahead. I'm gonna go do them scenes too. God damn it.
I want to back up for a minute. If anybody's got a chance to take Rihanna out, regardless of whether they've got a playoff game the next day or not, they need to go ahead and do that, though, regardless of what the next day is. If it's Mayweather's fight the next day, they got a chance for Rihanna, they need to be taking that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
J.R. Smith's a little crazy. We all know J.R.'s a little crazy. But I just maybe.
Nah, man, no. You know what? I cannot co-sign that. I just co-sign that. I cannot co-sign that, bro.
Not even Rihanna?
I was literally sitting there bro, we got a game tomorrow. I'm a Knicks fan. I'm like, what are you doing? Hey, yo, this is
Look, I don't know. 2014 Rihanna and 2017 Rihanna is probably the same thing, but you know what I'm saying? Hey, Rihanna.
Now I know. Hey, now
let's move on from Rihanna.
Yeah. Now I know what John Starks done in 1994 when he didn't shoot worth a shit. He was at the club till 3 a.m. too.
Hey, man, yo, you know what? I will say, being a professional basketball player is a different beast because, like, you don't have to be at shoot around until 5. You know, so you go into a different city and you can hang out. It's like, shit, if you want to hang out till 3 in the morning, you can hang out till 3 in the morning. You don't got to shoot around till 5. I'm going to go to the sauna, sweat that out, eat some healthy snacks.
Hey,
I'm going to be ready.
I got a funny story. I took my son to Memphis last year to watch the Grizzlies when they came last December, and we stayed at the same hotel because my baby also went, and I didn't want to, do a lot of walking and stuff, so we just stayed right there at the Westin where all the players stay, which is right across the street from the FedEx Forum. So we're going down the next morning, and these 2 girls, and cute girls, they said, oh, man, we were up all night. They said about 4 o'clock this morning, we called the security. Finally, the room next door was raising hell, loud as shit. We felt bad, but we called the security to come down. They said we left out this morning, and there was a bag on the door next door on the doorknob said Draymond Green. So she called the security on Draymond at 4 a.m. She had no idea who was next door. And they played like shit. Draymond had like 2 points and 7 turnovers at halftime.
I mean,
but that was a pointless December game,
Yeah, he showed up. That's right.
Yeah. Like I said, that was a pointless December game.
They got 82 games to play. That's what I'm saying. Football, we got 16.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I got 16 opportunities to show you how good I am, and I can't squander any of those chances.
If you're Kyrie, would you leave LeBron to go to Boston?
Yeah, why not? I already won a championship. Kyrie's 26 years old. Let me see what I can do. He went to Duke. He's not a dumbass.
Yeah.
He's smart. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who knows what Kyrie's trying to do for himself? I can't be the only brand in the NBA. Like, oh, all right, you got Team LeBron, you got all these Maverick, you got all these people. Why can't someone else do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So maybe that's where Kyrie's at with it at 25, 26.
I think life's a lot easier playing with LeBron, but at the same time, I can respect it because in the day and age of the NBA now, where everybody's joining forces and making super teams, he's saying kind of to hell with that. And yeah, I know Boston's going to be formidable, but he wants to be the man. And the earlier show we did earlier today, about 1-2 o'clock, I said, you hear what I said? I said it was kind of like Shaq and Kobe. Kobe got his rings with Shaq, but Shaq was the man. Then he was like, all right, trade his ass to Miami so I can be the man. And that's kind of what Kyrie. Right. I think that's what I liken it to. But, all right, man. So I talk.
Yeah, I totally understand that, man. Like, shoot, at the end of the day, like, you want to get your own. You want to show your worth, and I feel like Kyrie is one of the top 10 players in the NBA, man. Go get yours, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I like it. So I've been trying to get Lucas to watch the Defiant Ones. I've just been obsessed with this series on HBO, and we kind of I love Dr. Dre. My brother-in-law, who's about 10 years older than me, gave me the Chronic CD when I was 9 years old. So I was listening to some stuff I probably shouldn't have been hearing when I was 9. So I've been a Dre fan forever. I love the West Coast sound. I really, Jimmy Iovine. But I know you're a New York guy. So what'd you think about, like, are you a bad boy guy over Death Row in the West Coast, or what's your allegiance right there?
Nah, man. Like, honestly, I'm a music guy, man. Like, I remember my cousins from Irvington, New Jersey. Like, my cousins, like, literally from Jersey Drive, like, where, like, they were, like, stealing cars, like, every day. And we were just on, like, that West Coast sound. Like, I remember DOC. Like, DOC was, like, before he got into his accident, like, was, like, the man. So, one of my favorite rappers growing up was O'Shea Jackson. This is Ice Cube.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it was pretty dope to kind of see really how Jimmy Iovine became, you hear these names in music, this, that, and the other, Dre, Jimmy Iovine, this, that, and the other. It was kind of dope to see their mastery, if you can call it that. Like how like, they put in, like Jimmy Iovine was talking about the bullshit hours he was putting in with Bruce Springsteen, but there's no such thing as bullshit hours for Bruce Springsteen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, so to me it was like, it was dope, you know what I mean? And then you just see how, I'm about the long game, bro. Like, I played here for 10 years. I'm about the long game. I wouldn't have left Tennessee if I had a choice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, these guys, music-wise, it's just pretty amazing, and to see how, like, it's just reassuring, actually, to say, like, you put your time in, man, like, shit will evolve, man. You just gotta believe in what you believe in.
I thought it was interesting because I knew about Dre and I knew about all that story, with the East Coast, West Coast. I mean, I was young when it happened. I was, probably, 12, 13, 14 when it was going on. But I loved that, I loved that at the time. I love a lot. It's funny now. People look at me and they're like, I love classic country music, But the same way, I guess I'm stuck in a lot of generations because I don't like new country. I don't like new rap as much. I don't like new rock. I don't even know if new rock exists,
Right.
So I love that sound. But I knew about Dre. I didn't know about Jimmy Iovine, so I was more intrigued by hearing those stories, hearing the Bruce Springsteen stories, than Then that he never had associated and knew anything about the gangster rap scene, and he took on, not only did he take on Dre and his genius, but he took on all Snoop's court cases. Then at the same time, he's messing with Trent Reznor and 9 Inch Nails, and he's got Marilyn Manson's crazy ass out here doing stuff. I mean, the people he worked with, man.
And that's like, that just goes to show, man. Like, that just tells me, like, that just tells me it doesn't matter what your vision is. As long as you have a vision, just go with it. Like, you can't lose. You know what I mean? And I feel like in life, a lot of people just cut themselves short. Have to. Like, even you guys, man, y'all are doing your podcast. Like, you're going to do your shit, man. Like, you're going to do it as long as you want to do it. You're going to make it into wherever you want to make it into. And it's going to be as great as you want it to be. So,
So would you take it? So you're a Biggie guy or Tupac guy though? You're still Biggie, right?
I got more. Yeah, I got more into, like, I'm from New York, man. Like, I got more into Tupac. Like, probably when Pac died, man, I really got more into Tupac. Like, right, I got up there like maybe like a couple months before he died.
Because he's had 25 albums since he died, and he's still on tour with that fucking hologram.
Right, exactly. Hey, and I was at Coachella.
Oh,
I was
really?
at Coachella when he had the hologram. Yes.
How crazy was that?
It was pretty cool, man. But yeah, like, I had Pac's first album, Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
Like, knowing, obviously he wasn't like who he was then, but like I bought that album. Man, I'm just like I'm a music person, man. I was raised by New York hip hop.
There's no song on my iPod or my telephone that makes me change quicker when my 10-year-olds in it when Hit 'Em Up comes on.
Hit 'Em Up. Yeah. I was a freshman in college when that came out. Yeah. I remember when that came out. Like, I remember all that.
He was riding with me, and it came on the day, and I was like grabbing my phone, switching. He went, "Well," that's all he said. He said, "Well."
Right.
I heard Bill Simmons. I listened to Bill Simmons' podcast the other day, and he was interviewing Kevin Durant, and he said, "Is it too early?" He's like, "My son's 9. I think he said his son was 9 or 10, about the same age as mine." He goes, "I introduced him to Hit 'Em Up." I was like, "Come on, Bill Simmons, what are you doing?"
I'm from NEW, Jersey.
So no, I just wanted to get your opinion on that because I wanted this to be something, man. I know you do a lot of football. I mean, you said earlier you don't do a lot of podcasts, so we appreciate that much more. But I wanted this to be something different, man. I know you talk football all the time, and you should. I mean, with your legacy, But that's why I want to get the NBA questions in and the rap questions in, just kind of make this more fun for you. I didn't know he was going to be talking about pro wrestling, so I just topped it off.
Yeah, man, whatever y'all want, man. Like, look, man, at the end of the day, I'm very eclectic. I'm all over the place with it. So, I appreciate, I'll call, talk to y'all. Y'all cool people.
Man, we appreciate you coming on and giving us the time.
Yeah, man. So,
hey, man, I'm sorry about earlier.
No problem.
I was day drinking, and I stepped out to do the interview with y'all, and then I waited for like 5 minutes. Y'all didn't call back, so I went back in some more brews.
am I the one to blame for that day drinking?
You gave me the idea.
I wasn't sure if you were joking earlier because let our listeners know that's what I text when me and Keith were trying to figure out yesterday what time we were going to do it. I said, I'm off tomorrow, so I'm thinking about doing some day drinking. I've been sick all summer. I'm thinking about doing a little day drinking. So when you text me back that, I was like, I don't even know if he's bullshitting right now or not. But
nah, man, it was crazy. Zach Pillar rolled up on me. That's what you guys need to get, Zach Pillar, man. He's a riot.
Is that who you was telling to get in the car earlier?
Yeah.
All right, it's all good, man. We just appreciate you. I was writing this one off for the day. I figured we would try to catch up with you in a day or two. So it's really cool that you.
Nah, it's cool, man. You gotta chop it up, edit it however you need to, man. It was great talking with y'all fellas.
We're just gonna play it straight through.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right, man.
Well, I'll probably try to see you at the show with Mike whenever y'all get started.
All right, no doubt. Have a good one, brother.
All right, appreciate it, Keith.
See you, bud.
Take care.